Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
And we begin tonight with that weather impact alert because of a freeze warning. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Sarah Sanchez. That freeze warning is going to affect your plants, crops, any flowers you might have in your garden. As I mentioned yesterday, Rachel, I still had some hydrangeas out there, and I said, gotta bring them in.
Did you?
Clip them. I haven't yet.
I was gonna say, there's one thing to say, I need to do it, and then there's another thing, executing the plan.
When I get home, I'm gonna clip them real quick, bring them in. Yeah.
All right, do that, please, because we want to enjoy them a little bit longer. But yeah, we want to make sure that you know that this alert is not because, oh my gosh, it's gonna get so cold, it's dangerous. No, it's not like that. But we issued this weather impact alert to let you know if you want to continue to protect your plants. So if they're mums, for example, that's easy. You can just bring a potted plant inside. I say that's easy, but some of them are quite heavy. Or you can try covering cold sensitive plants with a light blanket. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it's not quite enough, depending on how cold it gets. Right now, we are already in the 30s for Windham, for Chester, 38 the current temperature in Meriden, and we're looking at overnight lows that'll be right around the freezing point, and even below freezing for some. We're looking at some upper 20s, Windham, Norwich as we head towards daybreak. Danbury might be able to slip into the upper 20s by daybreak tomorrow, and even the immediate shoreline, again, we could get quite cold towards daybreak with frost possible right down to the beaches, even though it won't be as cold. But it turns out to be a beautiful afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures around lunchtime are in the mid-50s, and we'll see high temperatures up around 60 degrees. We're loving Friday, and Saturday looks great as well. But we have another weather impact alert for later Sunday into Monday for the potential for a coastal storm, and even you can call it a nor'easter with persistent gusty northeasterly winds. We're going to talk more about what that means. There is a coastal flood watch in effect. Your full forecast is in just a bit. I don't believe we even know the ripple effect of how far this has gone, because daily I believe people are finding out that their monies are not where they thought they were.
Last night, we heard from those two cousins who say their mothers are victims of Philip Pietris. Pietris is the funeral director accused of stealing money from clients who set up prepaid funeral accounts. He now has been charged in multiple towns. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot spoke with a law professor about what happens now.
When I spoke with Allison Green and her cousin Carrie Oresco Wednesday night, they said they needed legal consultation and felt like a lot of their questions were going unanswered. I spoke with the law professor who broke down the case and explained what could possibly happen to Philip Pietris and the victims.
There's rights that alleged victims have literally in the Connecticut Constitution, as well as by statute, that ensures that they get proper notice of everything that's going on in court.
As funeral director, Philip Pietris faces a number of charges across the state. Warrants show more than $300,000 were deposited into Pietris's account and funeral bank account. While police have not said he used the victim's money to gamble at casinos, warrants show those same accounts have charges at MGM Springfield, an internet gaming account, and more. Additionally, the warrants show multiple charges of $4,500 removed from those accounts to Zelle accounts under the name Philip Pietris. Chester Fernandez, an assistant professor at Quinnipiac University School of Law, says while there are multiple cases against Pietris right now, that may change.
You know, there probably will be what they refer to kind of as a global disposition, where all the matters are trying to be resolved at the same time, because a defendant doesn't want to potentially plead guilty because the evidence they think is really strong against them in one case, but then they have all these other open cases pending with the same, if not worse, criminal liability. They want to try to resolve them all at once.
Oresco and Green say they are worried if convicted, Pietris would get a slap on the wrist. And Fernandez says in blue-collar and fraud cases, the chances of serving jail time is minimal.
They might have a prison term that's suspended, where they're on probation instead of going to prison, because again, without knowing anything about the background of this individual, it is pretty common in fraud situations that people don't have a prior criminal record.
Meanwhile, other funeral homes are now stepping up to help victims. Emily Randolph, one of the owners and funeral directors of East Windsor Community Funeral Home, says she's doing all she can to make families feel comfortable.
In order to make our customers and clients and families feel reassured, I sit with them, I drop all the paperwork here, I go through everything with them, and if they'd like, they're more than welcome to drive to the post office with me and place that package in the mail.
Petrus has 2 court dates set for the end of this month, one in Hartford and one in Tallinn. In Hartford, Kate Patty Foote, Fox 61.
Governor Ned Lamont has been subpoenaed to testify in the bribery trial of his former deputy budget director, Costa Diamantis. Diamantis is accused of taking bribes tied to school construction contracts and has been charged with serious charges of bribery, or serious counts, that is, of bribery and extortion. The governor's team also said he's not involved in the case, but will respond to the subpoena through the legal process. The trial just wrapped up its 4th day. New here at 10, the Supreme Court will decide tomorrow if they'll hear Alex Jones's appeal. He's asking the court to stop the Sandy Hook families from collecting more than $1 billion in damages that he owes for defamation. Jones had spread lies that the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax. He filed an appeal last month. The Supreme Court will make its decision behind closed doors. Jones also warned without court help, his InfoWars platform could be sold to rivals. A judge already ordered InfoWars' parent company to be turned over to a receiver to manage a sale. A West Haven man accused of killing and dismembering his mother pleaded not guilty in court. Theodore Lloyd's charged with strangling his mother, Tina Hart. Her remains were found in 14 plastic bags in a locked closet in March. Police arrested Lloyd weeks later after DNA evidence linked him to the crime. The case is scheduled to January. Hundreds of people in Seymour voted today to decide the future of a new elementary school. District officials say the current building is outdated and in need of significant repairs. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi joins us live from the polls with the latest on their decision. Valerie.
Yes, Sarah. Well, I'm right outside Seymour Community Center right now, and community leaders actually tell me people waited outside the building before the polls opened at 6 o'clock this morning. So, of course, the polls closed at 8 p.m. So, according to the town register, 1,700 people voted for the $60 million school, while nearly 300 people voted against it. There are tears of joy after parents find out Thursday construction for the new Bungay Elementary School will move forward.
It's amazing. This is like, we worked so hard to make sure this happened.
So excited. We're so proud that our community showed up and showed out. This is what community is all about.
Grateful. Thank you, Seymour, for showing up and for supporting us and making this happen.
And knowing that we did this, not for our kids, but for the generations to come, is exhilarating, honestly. I've never been a part of something like this.
Earlier on Thursday evening, we saw several people walk in and out of the building to cast their votes. Neighbors say they voted yes for the future of Seymour.
Because it'll raise the value of our town and community all around and benefit the younger generations as well as the older generations that will be leaving the town and moving somewhere else that can increase the value of houses and such.
Every day I would like to see something different, for once. A change, a better change for younger generation.
I did vote yes because I think it's very important to have good schools in the town, to bring in new residents to help us all pay our taxes.
But other neighbors like John Uhelski, who has lived in the area for 78 years, disagrees.
I don't think it's needed or necessary at this time because families are smaller. People don't have big families like they used to.
The current Bungay Elementary has served students for nearly 75 years, and district officials say it is no longer meeting modern educational and safety standards. Committee co-chairman Frederick Stanek and Peter Kubik say this is the largest number of voters in years.
Significant win, and the townspeople have spoken, and this will be a major accomplishment for our children and benefit the children of the town of Seymour for many years to come.
The next step is that we're going to issue requests for proposals for final architectural drawings and supervision of construction. But we also have to wait for the state final reimbursement approval.
Now, Stanek tells me they will find out if the state will reimburse some of that cost by December 15th before they move forward with construction plans. For now, live in Seymour, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
Thank you, Valerie. Hartford's welcoming back a Catholic school. Archbishop Christopher Coyne says the Catholic Academy of Hartford will open next fall. It will start with just pre-K through second grade classes, and it's expected to grow each year. The school will serve Hartford families with tuition based on what they can afford. Enrollment is open to all children, not just Catholics. The Archdiocese says this marks a renewed commitment to Catholic education in the city. A new state audit is raising red flags about the Connecticut State Library in Hartford. Auditors say the agency couldn't back up more than $215 million worth of fine art listed in its inventory reports and didn't assign values to donated assets as required. The report also uncovered problems with museum collection tracking, grant eligibility monitoring, and unrecorded invoices. 4 of the 5 findings were repeat issues from previous audits. The State Library agrees with the recommendations and says it's working to improve oversight. Well, good news for some drivers. Emergency repairs on Route 113 in Stratford are complete. CTDOT will officially announce the reopening of the road tomorrow after a major sinkhole shut it down in June. Crews worked under an emergency declaration and fast-tracked those repairs after drainage pipes collapsed beneath the surface. Time now is 10:11, and you're getting a live look right now at the Capitol. We're nearing the end of day 9 of a federal government shutdown. And today's vote failed by a total of 9 votes. And while the shutdown is happening now, some Bureau of Labor Statistics staff are heading back to work. They're being called in to finish the Consumer Price Index, which is a key inflation report used to set Social Security payments. The Trump administration says the data will be released before November 1st, so 2026 benefits can be calculated on time. Staff will work as needed to get the job done.